let's build an application around the blockchain code that we have. To support interactive functionality, we'll create an API, which is a collection of HTTP requests that will allow users to interact with our running application. Through this API, users will be able to view the blocks currently held in one of our blockchain instances. And then they will be able to act as miners through a mining endpoint which we'll create in order to add new blocks to the chain. So as we add more features to our blockchain, we'll continue to grow this API. First up, to build an API with our Node.js stack, we're going to use the Express module. So in the command line, we're going to install Express with npm i. Express is the name of the module, and then we'll save it with the --save flag. All right, once it's done installing, we can open up our code editor. So open up the code editor, and then the first thing that we want to do is require the Express module. So let's make an Express constant that is lowercase, and then we're going to require the code exported by the Express module that we just installed. In addition to requiring the Express module, let's require our own blockchain module. We're going to create an instance of this blockchain class, so we need access to it first of all. So let's make a blockchain constant that is uppercase, and that is set to the result of requiring the blockchain directory, and then this will get the index.js file by default, which was our blockchain class file. Next up, for an API, we should define what port our application should listen for requests on. So let's declare a constant called HTTP port and then set it to 3001. So our const is HTTP port. And notice that this is screen case, so everything is uppercase. And then when we join words together, we use an underscore. And then let's assign it to the value of 3001. And this will allow us to run on port 3001 when we're running the server, so that way we can access it through the localhost domain and then find it on port 3001. Before we continue, let's consider the situation where we run multiple instances of the same application on one machine. Well, they won't have the ability to share the same port. Therefore, we'll need some way to specify different ports to run our code and our applications on through the command line. To do so, we can use an environment variable, also called HTTP port, that uses a different port that we specify on the command line other than the default 3001. So what we're going to do is set it equal to a process environment variable for this node instance, also called HTTP port. So that way, if the user specifies something on the command line, that way it can run on port 3002, 3003, rather than 3001, just in case something else is already running. And the way the process will pick up this port is in the future, when we run our application with something like npm run dev, well, preceding that on the command line, we're going to have something like HTTP port equals 3002. And then this will be the environment variable that is passed to this application and is going to be used instead of 3001. So this is an example of something that we'd run on the command line. All right, great. With all this set up, we can create our Express application now. So let's define a new constant called app, and then we'll assign it to the result of calling the default Express function that is exported as a result of this module. And then this creates an Express application with a lot of functionality for us. Now we'll create our first blockchain instance by making a new blockchain instance of this blockchain class. And with our Express app and our blockchain instance created, we can add the first endpoint for our API that interacts with this blockchain instance. To begin, let's define a GET request in this application using the GET function on this app object. So let's call app.get. And then the first parameter of this GET function is the endpoint that we want our API to expose. So an endpoint starts with a slash, and then for this endpoint, let's expose a GET function that returns the blocks of the current blockchain, so that way a user can see what's already been stored. So this endpoint, let's call it blocks. And then for the second parameter, we have an arrow function, and this arrow function of the GET method has two parameters, rec, REQ, which stands for request, and then res, which stands for response. And these are objects that Express will automatically fill out for us that we can use to interact with the user's information that they're sending over to the server, and also to send back data to the user once they complete the request. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is use that response object. And then let's use the JSON method within that response object to send some JSON back to the user. Now, what's the JSON we want to send? Well, let's send the chain within the blockchain instance. Excellent. So we have one complete GET request in our application now. To finish off this API, we need to make sure that the application is running. And to do this, we call app.listen. So we have app.listen over here. And app.listen takes one parameter, first off, the HTTP port to listen on, and we have that defined at the top. And then for the second parameter, we have an optional callback function to log a message once this server is running. So let's log a message that says console.log listening on port, and notice the use of an ES6 template string with the backticks. So that's the key next to the one key. And then we'll insert our HTTP port using the $ curly brace syntax. So now once we fire up this application, it should load and then say listening on port 3001 or whatever the user specified as an environment variable. Great. That completes the API for now. Let's add two scripts to our package.json file, which will allow us to start the API up. So back in package.json, go to the script section. Let's have a start script, and this start script will use the node engine to fire up the app directory, which will automatically find the index.js file and execute it. Likewise, let's have a dev script, and this dev script will use the nodemon engine, so that way we have a live development server when we're executing our application. Perfect. So we have these two new scripts. Make sure you got them, and then go ahead and go to the command line and fire away. So we're going to use npm run dev in the command line now of sfchain. And as we do so, well, great. Right now there is a small error with the application. Notice that process is misspelled. Hopefully you didn't misspell it either. You probably saw that and said, no, don't spell it with two C's. That's incorrect. So once we save this, if we head back, now it is indeed listening on port 3001. Great. So let's try making a GET request to the blocks endpoint that we defined. To make this request, you could use a browser and hit localhost 3001/blocks. We'll actually use Postman though, since it's a pretty powerful tool with some nice features that we'll continue taking advantage of as we build this project. So go ahead and open up the Postman application. If you don't have it installed, there's some directions at the beginning of the course. Otherwise, go ahead and launch Postman. Once you have Postman up, you can define a new endpoint. And for this endpoint, make sure it's a GET request. And the endpoint is localhost port 3001/blocks. And as we do so, we'll hit the send method. And great. After hitting localhost 3001/blocks, as a response, we get the entire chain of our blockchain application, which is just right now the one Genesis block, which we have by default. All right, this is pretty awesome. We now have an interactive application around our blockchain. Next, let's add another request to our API, a post request for mining blocks and storing data that will make this API even more interactive.